What is up, boys, and welcome back to another brand new video. And today I'm going to be making another top 5 video. This one is going to be top 5 Pokemon for the Galar Newcomers online competition. So I'm going to be making a list of 5 Pokemon that I feel could be some of the biggest threats in this competition. So for those of you that don't know, the Galar Newcomers is an online competition that's coming soon. But it's going to be a double battle format, so kind of like VGC, but the rules are very, very interesting. Only Generation 8 Pokemon are allowed. Yes, only Generation 8. So if you guys love running like those standard Grimmsnarl, Mudsdale teams, Whimsicots, let's see what else, Arcanines, Gyarados, Tyrannitars, Excadrills, stuff like that, Thanos Snap. They're not here. They're not in this competition. Only Generation 8 Pokemon are allowed. And I found that very, very interesting. So I kind of wanted to wait making this video because I wanted Showdown to post the competition so I can start, testing out teams and kind of seeing what the meta is going to look like, what kind of Pokemon people are using. But Showdown still hasn't posted it, so I'm just going to wing it, and I'm just going to kind of just randomly put Pokemon and give my explanation on why I feel this Pokemon should be at this spot. So let's get started, boys. At number 5, I've got Draco Fish, the water dragon type Pokemon that will hit you insanely hard with that Fish's Rend. Now, Draco Fish sits at 16% when it comes to VGC 2020. So it's up there. People use it. It's a good Pokemon. Fish's Rend, Crunch, Psychic Fangs, Ice Fang, Dragon Rush, some of the top used moves on it. The top items, Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Life Orb. But now, my reasoning to why I have Draco Fish in at number 5 is because of its teammate Pokemon. So when I say teammate Pokemon, pretty much Pokemon that are usually paired up with Draco Fish. So if you see Draco Fish, you'll most likely see these Pokemon on that same team. So top 3, number 1 Whimsicott, number 2 Duraludon, and number 3 Arcanine. But 2 of those Pokemon are not allowed, Whimsicott and Arcanine. Duraludon is. So for those of you who are familiar with Draco Fish, the strategy with it is pretty simple. They'll usually lead off with Draco Fish and Whimsicott, Tailwind, so you can outspeed your opponent's Pokemon and then just smack them right in the face with the Fish's Rend and just put out all that damage. But with Whimsicott out, I think that gets rid of that threat for Draco Fish. So that's the reason why I have Draco Fish in at number 5. Who knows, maybe when the competition starts, it'll probably become one of the top used Pokemon, but for right now, the reason why I have it at number 5 is because its number 1 teammate, number 1 BFF, isn't going to be in this competition, so I have it in at number 5. So at number 4, I have Darmanitan. Now, these two Pokemon, Darmanitan and Draco Fish, are very similar actually. But the difference is that Draco Fish is actually used more than Darmanitan. Darmanitan only has a 9% usage when it comes to VGC. But besides that, what makes them very similar is that they both actually have their number 1 Pokemon that's paired up with them usually is Whimsicott. So yeah, so the teammates for Darmanitan are Whimsicott, Dragapult, Snorlax. But again, just the same thing, man. The same thing. Only Dragapult is allowed. Whimsicott and Snorlax are not allowed in this competition. And even the items, boys, even the items are similar. Choice Scarf and Choice Banded. But here is where I'm going to explain why I have Darmanitan in at number 4. Is because, so these Pokemon are similar. Draco Fish, has the Fish's Rend that puts out a lot of damage. Darmanitan has that 140 physical attack though, and with the Gorilla Tactics, any attack that you decide to use is going to do a ton of damage. And another thing that these two Pokemon do not have to worry about is Intimidate. Yes, that's right. Intimidate is not allowed in this competition. Gyarados, Arcanine, Scrafty, Hematop, any Intimidator that you can think of is not in this competition, so you don't have to worry about getting intimidated. You don't have to worry about Will-O-Wisp from like an Arcanine. They're not in this competition. So both of these Pokemon are free to just go and just put out damage. So why do I have Darmanitan in at number 4? Well, it all goes to Whimsicott. Both of these Pokemon rely on Whimsicott to help them out with the Tailwind. But without Whimsicott being allowed in this competition, it kind of comes down to which the reason why it pretty much comes down to which Pokemon can put in work without relying on Whimsicott, and that's where I'm gonna have to lean towards Darmanitan here because it has a higher base speed. It's at 95 base speed. It has a higher attack than Draco Fish, you know, and it's got an insane. It's got a really good move pool. You can use their superpower, which can counter some other threats that I'm gonna get into this video. It's got Rock Slide. You can, you know, hit both of your opponent's Pokemon with that Guerrilla Tactics, Rock Slide, Flare Blitz, you know, and just Icicle Crash, Stab, just put out a lot of damage. So between the two of them, I feel like Darmanitan can put in more work without relying on Whimsicott. So that's the reason why I have Darmanitan in at number 4. At number 3, we've got Grimmsnarl, the Dark Fairy type. Now, there isn't really much to say about Grimmsnarl since it's not really a Pokemon you're going to be using to attack. It's not really an offensive Pokemon, which is kind of crazy because it does have 120 physical attack, which isn't bad. But you can already see here, Grimmsnarl, top 2 moves reflect Light Screen, 84 and 80%. And then the items at 73% Light Clay, and then ability Prankster. So yeah, Grimmsnarl is just meant to use screens. It's just meant for dual screens. It's got 20% usage in VGC, so it's a popular Pokemon. So I don't see why it wouldn't be a popular Pokemon for this online competition. And yeah, pretty short, but there's not much else to say about Grimmsnarl. It's just a really good support Pokemon. At number 2, we got my boy Dragapult, the Dragon Ghost type Pokemon. So I was kind of debating between these two Pokemon, between the number 1 and number 2, but I decided to go Dragapult with number 2, and you'll pretty much figure that out once I talk about the number 1 used Pokemon, the Pokemon I feel will be the most used. So we got Dragapult, and the reason why I have Dragapult at number 2 is because it's such a good Pokemon. It has an insane move pool. It has a 35% usage in BGC. So the highest usage rate out of any Pokemon so far in this list. Now its top teammates are not allowed. None of them are. Arcanine at number 1, Whimsicott number 2, Excadrill at number 3, Togekiss at number 4, Snorlax at number 5, Rotom at number is at 6. I lost track. 3, 4, 5, 6. Gastrodon number 7, and then Corviknight, and then Sylveon, Tyranitar. So the only Pokemon that is allowed in this competition that usually tends to get paired up with Dragapult is Corviknight. Everything else, Sylveon, Tyranitar, Gastrodon, Rotom, Snorlax, Togekiss, Excadrill, Whimsicott, Arcanine, they're not allowed. But I am still going to put Dragapult in at number 2 because this is just such a good Pokemon. Again, just like I said, its move pool is insane. You can run it as a support Pokemon with dual screens and Will-O-Wisp. This is actually a Pokemon that you guys can use for Will-O-Wisp. Remember, Arcanine is gone. Arcanine is not allowed in this competition, but you could use Dragapult as a support. You can use Will-O-Wisp to burn some of those previous Pokemon I mentioned, like Draco Fish, Darmanitan. You can burn them. It can also learn Ally Switch, dual screens. Now, if you don't want to run it as a support, you can run it as an all-out attacker. That 142 base speed is absolutely insane. Fastest Pokemon in this entire game. You can run Life Orb, you can run a special attacker, or you can run a physical attacker. So Dragapult is just the complete package. It's the complete package in VGC, and even though all of its top teammate Pokemon that are constantly paired up with this are not allowed in this competition, I have it at number 2 because I feel like Dragapult just doesn't need them. I feel like Dragapult can easily carry its own weight in this competition, so that's the reason why I have it in at number 2. So at number 1, I have Duraludon, boys. So yeah, at number 1, I got Duraludon. Now, so the reason why I was debating between Dragapult and Duraludon is because even though Dragapult has the highest usage rate out of any Pokemon in this entire team at 30% or 35%, I don't remember what it was, Duraludon only sits at 20%. But the reason why I decided to put it in at number 1 is because Duraludon can actually counter Dragapult. You can knock it out. Dragapult is kind of frail, but then again, so is Duraludon. So you can see why I was kind of debating which one should go number 1, which one should go number 2. But yeah, I mean, if they're running like a special attacking Dragapult, you could hit it with the Dragon type move because Duraludon does have a pretty low special defense. But other than that, the reason why I also want to put it at number 1 is because I feel like Duraludon can check so many threats. You can pair it up with Grimmsnarl, which is on this list and is allowed in this competition. Some of the top teammates for Duraludon are Grimmsnarl, Whimsicott, Draco Fish. That's top 3. At number 4, Arcanine. So 2 of the Pokemon are not allowed, but Draco Fish and Grimmsnarl are. But with Grimmsnarl, I feel like Grimmsnarl Duraludon is going to be a pretty good core. You can help out Duraludon, make it even more bulkier, especially because you know when you see Duraludon, you know they're going to go for Dynamax, so you're going to get that extra HP. Put that under Light Screen and Reflect. You can give it Weakness Policy or give it Assault Vest or a Life Orb, and you can just pretty much put a lot of damage on your opponent's Pokemon. But another big reason is because of Caterine. Now, I didn't put Caterine on this list because Caterine, it's more of a how do I say this? Caterine was more, it's more of a core Pokemon, like it needs a buddy, and by that buddy I mean Indeedee, which obviously is allowed in this competition as well. It's a new generation of Pokemon, but it needs a buddy, right? Well, if people want to run Caterine and Indeedee, there's Duraludon. You can bypass the Follow Me and you can just knock out that Indeedee, while Dragapult really struggles against Caterine and Indeedee. You can't, if you go for Ghost type move and then just go Follow Me, you're gonna put out no damage because you can't even touch Indeedee. And once they get Trick Room up, your Dragapult is actually pretty much screwed. So that's the reason why I wanted to put Duraludon at number 1, because I feel like Caterine and Indeedee might be a very popular core. But the reason why I didn't have Caterine on this list is because, again, it pretty much relies on having Indeedee alongside it. So I didn't want to put it on the list because by itself, because the whole point of this list is me putting Pokemon that can kind of carry their own weight. On their own, they're very good. So Duraludon, Dragapult, Draco Fish, Darmanitan, Grimmsnarl, these Pokemon, they can all handle themselves in this competition. Caterine, it needs a buddy. It needs Indeedee. So if people want to run Caterine and Indeedee, Duraludon is the best Pokemon to use. Bypass Follow Me, hit it with the Max Steel Strike and just knock it out. Prevent Trick Room from going up. So that's pretty much the main reason, because I can see Duraludon taking on Dragapult, the number 2 ranked Pokemon on this list. But also, between the two of them, Duraludon can handle Caterine and Indeedee easily. So that's it, boys. That is my list. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time.